and I was crushing those things. But that was funny because I think Chase was skimming him, then he stopped, right? And then he tried to jump him, and he struggled, and that's like me. I can't jump whoops.
I met a Gypsy.
I'll give Dartworks some credit. They crushed the whoops this year. I only did 5 rounds, and it was nice to have some whoops that were just, like, in the main event, you could jump them, but it was a bit faster to skim them. Like, that was sweet. I was pumped on that.
That is how it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want the whoops to be a factor where if you can hit them, you can, get the advantage. So it was cool to see that, every race that I did was like that. So it was cool.
What was the round where Sexton had the moment in the whoops? He was skimming them all day.
Pittsburgh.
Was it Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh. So those ones were really, well, it's kind of funny because I did track walk and I was like, oh, these look laid down. And they were not. Those ones were really big in the main, but they got like cupped out. And then the right side was like they were jumping them, right? But I skimmed those the whole main, and it was funny because anyone that passed me, I would hit the finish line, click up, and then pass them back every single time. And Lars was loving it. It was Shane. It was Joey, and then Hella passing the whoops. There was like a couple others, like because the star whoop was really tall because everyone was jumping them. So when they jump them, it gets like a little lip. So like obviously me having legs, I like launch into them, and obviously the bike was really good. And I was crushing those things. But that was funny because I think Chase was skimming him. Then he stopped, right? And then he tried to jump him, and he struggled. And that's like me. I can't jump whoops. And that's where you got J-Coop and even Cooper. They can jump whoops really fast. I'm terrible at jumping whoops. So that's why I just skim every time.
I reckon that's a little bit of underrated genius of Coop. I'm going to ask him if I can get him in after the chip because Chase was skimming all day. Mm-hmm. Coop gets in front and just jumps.
Yeah.
And then
he stuck to it.
And he stuck to it and he didn't. And it almost is like it faked out Chase to thinking that he had to jump the whoops.
Right.
Because dude, I'm sitting there being like, bro, just skim the whoops.
Yeah.
Just try and blow past the dude. Like, risk it. You're not going to crash.
Yeah.
Send it and you will pass the guy.
Yeah.
But if you jump, you're not going to pass him.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that was just crazy next level gamesmanship for Coop to just dictate the pace of that whoop section.
Well, it was like the race in Indy. I remember you did the wall. Remember Indy? And then there was whoops, and these whoops were gnarly. And Coop hole-shotted, and he kind of checked out that race, and he just jumped. He literally hit the same rut, because I watched it. He hit the same rut every lap, went triple, triple, triple. And he's so solid, like, when it comes to jumping whoops. So I know in that main event in Pittsburgh, it was Pittsburgh, he was jumping, but he does it really fast. He jumps quick. But if jumping isn't your thing and you're not that good at it, then that's why I'm just like, I got to skim. Like, because I've jumped and I'm not good at it. I'm slow, because those guys like push through.
Yeah.
So when Coop was jumping those, he was jumping them really fast. And then I didn't really watch the race back, but I heard Chase was crushing them, and then he just stopped skimming them.
Yeah.
So, you just got to, if you're good at skimming, go all in on skimming. You know?
But that's what you did through that main. So it's like they obviously were still skimmable. And then Chase was in the press conference like, to skim them for 20 minutes would have been hard. It's like, bro, you only need to do it for 2 laps, 3 laps. Just get the pass done. Mm-hmm. And then if it was too sketchy, but at least then you're in front.
Yeah.
But that I think that was like underrated. I don't think people looked in deep enough to be like, maybe Coop fully just faked him out because he hadn't jumped them 1 lap all day and then he made him do it in the main.
Well, J-Coop was ripping in the heat race. Remember that?
He was going 3.34.
Yeah, 3.34. And I was like, oh, that was fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, please don't tell me we got to jump these. But first lap, those whoops were so gnarly though. When we went right on the parade lap before the main, I sat there for like a minute, like, fuck, where am I supposed to go? Like, because they're rutty at the beginning, so they're very technical. And I remember first lap, I was like in this battle, and I just fucking, well, I guess we're going from here. And then once I did that once, it just gave me confidence. I could even move around. Like, I was like, okay, I'm good. But sometimes looking at whoops will psych you out more than just hitting the things,
Oh, that's like any jump ever.
Yeah.
Like,
I swear I was looking at these things like, fuck, I don't know where to go. These things where there was cups here, ruts here, and then I was just in the battle first lap, and I just clicked up. I says, all right, let's see how this goes. And then it went well, and then it just gave me confidence every lap.
That's like when you're surfing. If you just take like a big trip over the falls, just straight away.
Yeah.
Just like you're like, okay, I didn't die.
Okay,
I'm
I
fine.
wasn't too bad.
I'm
yeah,
fine.
exactly. But
I agree though. They did a sick job this year.
it was nice just to, because they were almost getting
They were
jump
terrible
dominant,
last year.
You know, they were getting so jump dominant where like the guys that couldn't hit whoops were just like crushing it, jumping them. And it's like, man, I've worked my whole life to be good at whoops, but no, they did a good job for sure.
Yeah, I think they nailed it this year. Because last year was pretty shocking. Like it was just every single week was the same.
Yeah.
The same shit. Jump.
No, if you think of last year, they had those flat corners after the whoops a lot of the times. So it was like
yes.
think of Nashville where Kenny's shock exploded, flat turn. Indy whoops, flat turn. There were like so many flat turns. And so that like kills your speed already. What because are you going to skim and go to the hay bales? You know?
Yeah,
I wasn't a fan of that.
You just finished watching a clip from the full 3-hour podcast. You're on our Clips channel. The full podcast live on the Gypsy Tales podcast channel. It's linked right here. Go over to that channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and make sure you never miss a full episode of the Gypsy Tales podcast. If you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you want to watch it on the go, you can also head to our iTunes or Spotify to get the full 3-hour podcast in audio format.
I met a gypsy.